Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, Chris Manawa was a character that was in the first two seasons of Fear the Walking Dead. He was the son of Travis and Liza, and of course, Liza dies in the first season. Chris sort of did have a tragic story, although he did just sort of end up being like kind of a psychopath. Like, I think honestly, I don't know, like he always was a psychopath or something. He had to have been. Like, he just went like full Emperor Palpatine, like Satan in season 2. It was kind of great. It was kind of awesome. Like, there had never been like a character like that evil before. I don't even think like the governor or Lizzie were as evil as Chris. Like, Chris was evil, and it was just kind of great. I did like the actor's portrayal, but I mean, in the first season, his story's pretty tragic. I mean, he gets bullied at school. He's like a 17-year-old. His parents are separated, and there's a lot of drama between them. That always kind of sucks when your parents have a bunch of drama and you're innocent and you just kind of get dragged through it. I always sympathize with kids and teenagers whose parents are like that. It's just kind of bullshit. Like, the kids are the ones that haven't done anything wrong, and they gotta suffer. But yeah, and then it just seemed like no one really took him seriously. And then, of course, like his mom dies. Liza dies. Liza dies at the end of the first season, and that's tragic. But in season 2, he just turns into like Darth Vader, fucking just like Michael Myers from Halloween. Like, he just like he punches Travis in the face. He threatens to kill Alicia, tries to kill Alicia and Madison with a knife while they're sleeping. He kills innocent people. He's always trying to kill people. And I mean, there's a scene early in season 2 where I was kind of sympathetic to him, where he sees a pregnant woman in a boat and a guy, and he's wondering if he should shoot them or not. And then later on, it turns out that they were lying. I mean, the woman was really pregnant, but it was like people, like bad people, taking over the boat, and they used her as a trick. And then, of course, Chris regretted not simply shooting them, and that kind of added to his character development later on, where he just wants to shoot first and ask questions later. I mean, he's supposed to be like 17 years old. Like, he's pretty like tough and just sort of just like dangerous and scary, and it's kind of unique. I mean, he sort of was Fear the Walking Dead's answer to Shane Walsh, but he was really much darker than Shane Walsh. Shane Walsh was definitely a little bit more complicated. I never really liked the scene where he tries to rape Lori. I mean, she says no 47 times. I believe that when a woman says no 47 times, you shouldn't be trying to sleep with her. But other than that, I was kind of sympathetic to Shane, and I felt like, he really slowly, tragically turned into more of an unstable villain. But with Chris, he just goes from A to Z. He just goes all out. Like, he goes straight to the dark side, and he doesn't even flinch. And I kind of like that, and I kind of like the actor's portrayal of that. So for the question of, did he die too soon? He dies close to the end of season 2. He ends up wanting to go off with a couple of really dumb teenage 20-year-old guys or whatever, and they have a car wreck, and they just kill Chris because Chris was badly injured. Like, there's like a bone sticking out of his leg. He wasn't really going anywhere, and those guys always believed in no dead weight. If you get injured, if you slow them down, they just kill you. They had been doing that before, and Travis warned Chris about it and tried to protect Chris from it. But, Chris separated himself from Travis, and he wanted to be with these guys. But they have a car wreck, and then Chris gets hurt, and they kill Chris. That's the end of his story arc. That's the end of him. That's the end of his character. And, do I feel like he was killed off too soon? I think he was interesting. He was a unique character, but no, I liked his death. Travis in season 3, his death definitely was a little. You could definitely make an argument that he died too soon, just because Travis turning into Rick Grimes and just turning into a maniac and fighting 100 walkers with his bare hands was just something I could never get sick of. And I think Travis was always more of a core part of the show, the original season's DNA. Whereas I think Chris was always expendable. I think everyone thought Chris was going to die, and I was honestly satisfied with Chris's death. I don't think he needed to make it to season 3. Sometimes it's good to have a short, good character. Not every short-lived character has to be short-lived because they just weren't that interesting. Sometimes a short-lived, interesting character is the best thing you can have on a show like The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead. I mean, it's supposed to be like, no one's safe, and, anyone can die at any moment. Sometimes you should kill the interesting characters, and you should, have them be short but sweet. I feel like Chris Manawa was a short but sweet character. I liked his story arc. It had a beginning, it had a middle, and it had an end. And honestly, season 2 needed like a sad, maybe not a sad death, but like a death of a main character. It needed a death that really was just like memorable. And there's a few deaths in season 2, but none of them were really that important. Chris was really the only major death in season 2. I mean, I think there's Hector. You could argue that he was a major character, but he was really only in the back half and stuff like that. Chris was really the only character from season 1 that died. He was the only major death in that whole like 15 episodes. Daniel supposedly died off screen, but I mean, the writers even confirmed that he lived like right after that episode where he burns the house. So like Daniel was never really dead. He just kind of took a break. And Chris was really the only significant death in season 2. And I feel like season 2 needed a significant death. I mean, season 2 was weak enough. It needed a significant death, and Chris' death developed Travis. That's the push that really pushed Travis to becoming a killing machine and sort of abandoning his morals, because that was Travis's big thing. His morals were always sort of annoying everyone else, and everyone was trying to do what was necessary, and Travis was trying to hold on to the old world. And once Chris died, Travis just completely changed and became a tougher, stronger survivor and a killing machine. Not necessarily a psychopath, because I think he was just more desperate and just changed and kind of broke, and was more determined to protect Madison, Alicia, and Nick. It was good for Travis's story. It was good for Travis's character development. I feel like you can't complete Travis's story arc without the way Chris was killed. It's like, as much as I like Shane in season 2 of The Walking Dead, we wouldn't have Rick Grimes character development without that moment where Rick kills Shane. And Rick Grimes is great. He was kind of just a normal guy in the first couple of seasons. But once Rick killed Shane, that was when Rick really became interesting and more of a hardcore survival. Still a guy like trying to do the right thing, but definitely more of a hardcore survivor that didn't mind killing people. Really didn't mind killing people. Like, wouldn't even like let it bother him. I mean, the first episode of season 3, I think it's the second episode of season 3. He shoves his machete into a guy's skull, and he doesn't even care. And he wants the prisoners to be sent away, and he doesn't want them to be with his group, and he doesn't care. I mean, he becomes honestly, killing Shane made Rick a better leader. And so you can't have Rick's character development without Shane's death. And the same goes with Travis. You can't have Travis's character development without Chris's death. And it was kind of cool that Chris became so evil, but Travis never really had to accept the fact that Chris was just a monster. You know, when Chris died, Travis did what he did because he was sad and angry that his son was dead. You know, his son was killed by bad people. They were the bad guys. Travis never saw Chris as a bad guy. You know, Chris was the bad guy, but when Chris died, it was so early and sort of premature that Travis didn't have to consider his son the bad guy. The people that killed his son were the bad guys. That's what changed Travis. You know, a lot of people, they thought that Chris was just going to like turn into a big villain, and maybe Travis himself would have to kill him. But I like that they sort of they changed it, because if you remember, at first we don't even know. We see that Travis has kind of changed, but we don't know if Chris is dead. We don't know what happened with Chris, because it shows Travis by himself, and we don't know what happened to Chris yet. And then it goes back in time and it reveals what happened, and it's kind of it kind of went the opposite of a lot of people's expectations, I think, because Travis didn't even know that Chris was going to die. He later finds out that Chris got killed by his friends, and that's what just turned Travis into an absolute killing machine. So, you know, in a way, it's kind of good. I mean, Chris really definitely got put down like a wild animal before he got much of a chance to do a lot of damage, and that's kind of good. You know, Chris didn't really get the chance to just turn into an absolute Governor or Negan type of villain, which he would have. He probably would have turned out to be worse. Chris would have just killed thousands of people without even caring, you know, and he pretty much got put down before he got a chance to do that, and that's kind of bittersweet, because it would have been interesting to see him develop and just, you know, wreak all that havoc and, you know, kill thousands of people and be this like super villain monster that maybe Travis himself or Madison, they eventually just have to put him down. So, you know, when Chris died, it just kind of prevented all that from happening. And the thing is, I mean, with Chris's character, yes, we didn't see him become like a full-on super villain that kills everyone. You know, we didn't get to see him be like the Governor or Negan, or just like become this like super psycho in season 3, season 4, season 5. You know, he gets killed close to the end of season 2. But we know everything about Chris's character that we need to know. We know, you know, the danger and the threat he poses, and the type of person he is, and the things he's willing to do, and it's not good at all. So when he dies, we pretty much know what we need to know, and having him continue on as this just absolute psychopath villain type of character, it might have kind of glorified the character. I kind of like that he got killed before he completely got to really spread his wings and be you know, be this monster in the apocalypse. But yeah, I mean, I like the actor and I like the character. You know, he was a strong, you know, 2-year short but sweet character, and I'm okay with his death. I think it was a good story arc, and it you know, Travis was always kind of, to me, Travis was a more important character than Chris, and Chris's death was good for Travis's character development, and it was good for Travis's story arc. And you eventually need characters to die. I mean, just some character deaths I disagree with, but this one I completely accept and embrace and understand, and I wouldn't have changed it at all. I like the way they handled Chris's story arc, and I like the way they killed him. But yeah, so I don't think he got killed off too soon. I think his death was appropriate. It was the appropriate time, and yeah, I mean, you do eventually need death. So, you know, I think this was a death that worked for me, at least. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now, we are at 311 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 400 in the next few months. So just remember, every subscriber counts. We are 89 away from, we got to 300 like a week ago, and we've already gotten 11. We're at 311. So we're getting there. We're getting to that goal of 400. At the rate we're going, we'll get to 400 very soon. Hopefully, at least a few months from now. But just remember, every subscriber counts. Every bit of support matters and is very, very appreciated. Can't talk. Very appreciated. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching and supporting this channel. Can't wait to get to 400 subscribers. Can't wait to continue to expand things. I'm doing the 12 heads on spikes prediction video very soon in the next couple of days. Lots of big plans. Can't wait for that. So yeah, with all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.